everyone, this is Kyra for Liquor and Literature, and today I'm going to be talking about Chase Novak's novel Breed. Chase Novak is actually Scott Spencer, who I've also never heard of. I am also drinking wine out of my Wonder Woman mug because I realized that none of us have drank since November, so since we're at very risk of making our YouTube channel name a complete lie, I am drinking wine out of a mug because I'm classy. It's so much more awkward when no one else is with me. I picked up Breed in October or November, partially because it was on sale and partially because I really wanted to read a good horror book, and all families have secrets. This is worse. On a book called Breed definitely sounded like it would fit the bill. Technically it did. Technically this is a horror novel. There was certainly horrifying elements in it. So it's a horror novel and more gore novel. You have the same thing happening in horror movies. You have horror movies where the horror comes from things that are psychological or things that are just kind of just speak to some sort of great fear in the nestled in the back of the human psyche. And those are generally my favorite horror films, are the ones that just kind of creep inside you and make you go oh god, why the entire world is coming crumbling right down upon my head. The ones that make you question absolutely everything and freak you the fuck out forever. Those are my favorite kind of horrors. And then you have the other kind of horror movies, which rely a lot more on making you want to throw up, which are generally referred to as gore fests or gore movies, which I do enjoy sometimes. There's something very special about watching a large amount of blood splatter all over screen. It is pretty delightful. But that horror I don't respect as much, I guess, because it doesn't rely as much on some writer thinking, you know what is really just viscerally fucked up and is going to make everyone question everything they know about the entire universe, and it's more a writer being you know what's really nasty? 3 people being surgically attached, mouth to ass. Yeah, let's make that a horror movie. I've never actually seen The Human Centipede. I have absolutely no desire to see The Human Centipede. My brother took it upon himself one day to describe to me the entire plot of the first 2 movies, and safe to say, I will never be watching those movies. This book definitely falls into more the second category than the first one. This book definitely had quite a few moments where I was sitting in my room going, ew, 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 ew. But it definitely had less moments where I was genuinely freak the fuck out, which is what I want from my horror books. There was one part where the father eats, casually grabs a dead hamster from these other people's fridge and eats it, which is gross. But it's not terrifying. It's a dead hamster. It's nasty. It's nasty ass shit, but it's not terrifying in the same way that a lot of horror tries to be or is. Another problem that I had with this book is that it had such a good idea. The idea is that this rich couple really, really want to have kids, but it's just not working out for them. So they go to this guy in some country. They get fertility treatments from this really sketchy guy, and what the fertility treatments do is they inject you with all these animal DNA, and it's meant to make you more virile, which they have 2 kids, twins, but it also another strand of DNA that they put in was this species of fish that eats their kids. They're cannibalistic fish and they eat their young, which seems like a poor evolutionary method to continuing your species, but whatever, fish are just going to do what fish are going to do. But so that results in the parents taking on these aspects, and they have all they eat dogs and cats and stuff, and then they start eating humans, and the kids eventually run away because they're my parents are going to eat me. And I guess my entire problem with that is that it starts out with such a good concept. That is fucked up and horrifying and speaks to a lot of sort of fears that center around the parent-child relationship, because that is such an important thing in our culture that it's easy to see a lot of fears growing around it, and it's easy to take horror from that. But this novel doesn't really do that. It kind of takes that concept and is yeah, let's have the kids run away, and the parents run after them all over New York, and then they'll go to their teacher, and then they'll run around New York some more, and then we'll kill them. It's just not good writing. to be frank. It's not. It's a really good concept, but it's just not well executed. I actually debated for quite a while about whether or not I even wanted to do a review video on this book because I thought it was kind of useless. But hey, now you guys know and will not read. Don't do it. Don't recommend it. There's loads of great horror books and horror movies and any other kind of horror media you want. Video games, oh my god. If you want a recommendation for like a fuck you up, scare you, crap out of you video game, Limbo is amazing. I get off topic so much. It's really pretentiously written too, like you can tell the author is really trying to be all like really high-handed in the way that he describes things and the way his prose just kind of flows in the words that he uses, and you're just kind of sitting there being like, okay, get over yourself. It relies heavily on the trope of the hysteric woman and the calm and collected man, you know, instructing her on what to do and calm that down and like handling everything, which is fucking annoying. Like, incredibly fucking annoying and patronizing, and I don't appreciate that. Thank you very much. So, read Chase Novak. Don't recommend. Don't read it. Just don't do it. It's not worth your time. If you're looking for a really good sort of postmodern gothic horror novel, I really recommend Ian Banks' The Lost Factory or Catherine Dunn's Geek Love. Catherine Dunn's Geek Love really fucked me up. Ian Banks' The Lost Factory, I literally screamed and threw the book across the room at one point. They're both great books. They're both really good horror books. So read those. Don't read this. Don't do it. So that's me for this week. I will see you guys later. Enjoy your reading and your drinking, and hopefully you are doing it in a slightly more classy manner than myself. And I will see you guys next time.